There's a story I want to begin with today, and even now it still gives me chills when I think about it. A man in his early 70s went to bed one night exactly the way he had done for decades. He brushed his teeth, turned off the lights, told his wife good night, and laid his head on the pillow. Nothing felt unusual. There was no chest pain, no warning sign, no feeling that something was wrong. But the next morning he never woke up. His wife thought he was simply sleeping a little longer than usual. When she tried to wake him, he didn't respond. Paramedics later confirmed what no family ever wants to hear. He had suffered a massive heart attack sometime during the night. What shocked the family the most was that just hours before going to sleep, he had done something that millions of people do every single evening without thinking twice about it. The doctors explained that this simple habit, something many people believe is completely normal, may have triggered a dangerous reaction in his body. It can quietly raise blood pressure, strain the heart, and increase the chance of blood clots forming while the body is resting. For older adults, especially after the age of 60, this can create the perfect conditions for a heart attack or stroke to happen during sleep. What makes this situation even more unsettling is that the body becomes surprisingly vulnerable during the nighttime hours. While we think of sleep as a time when the body is resting peacefully, the truth is that many important systems inside the body are still actively working. Blood pressure shifts, hormones change, breathing patterns adjust, and the heart has to carefully balance all of these changes at once. For younger people, the body usually handles these changes easily, but as we age, the heart and blood vessels become more sensitive. Arteries may stiffen, circulation can slow down, and the heart sometimes struggles to adapt to sudden changes in pressure or oxygen levels. That's why cardiologists often say the hours before and during sleep can quietly become one of the most dangerous periods for the heart. Now I want to be very clear about something. The purpose of this conversation is not to scare you. It's to protect you. Because once you understand what really happens inside the body at night, you can make a few simple adjustments to your evening routine that may dramatically reduce your risk of heart attacks and strokes while sleeping. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover several things most people never realize. We'll talk about the common nighttime habit that quietly stresses the heart, why heart attacks often occur during sleep or in the early morning hours, and the hidden triggers that can turn an ordinary night into a medical emergency without warning. And most importantly, I'm going to share the simple evening habits that heart specialists often recommend to help keep the heart calm and stable throughout the night. Some of these habits take less than 2 minutes to change, but they can make a life-saving difference. What I'm about to explain may completely change the way you think about your evening routine. When doctors investigate cases like the one I mentioned earlier, they often begin asking a very simple question. What happened in the hours before sleep? Because the truth is, the body's condition right before bedtime can strongly influence what happens during the night. One of the biggest surprises for many people is learning that heart attacks and strokes don't only happen during stressful moments in the daytime. In fact, a significant number of cardiac events occur during the night or in the early morning hours. And there's a very real biological reason behind this. As we fall asleep, the body goes through a series of natural adjustments. Blood pressure begins to shift, breathing slows, and the nervous system moves from an active alert mode into a quieter rest mode. Normally, this transition is smooth. But in older adults, the heart and blood vessels sometimes struggle with these sudden changes. During sleep, oxygen levels can slightly fluctuate, especially if a person snores or experiences brief breathing pauses. At the same time, the blood naturally becomes a little thicker during the night. This is actually part of the body's normal rhythm. But when thicker blood meets narrowed arteries or unstable blood pressure, the risk of clots forming becomes higher. Now here is where the dangerous habit often enters the picture. Many people, especially in their 50s, 60s, or 70s, unknowingly place extra stress on the heart right before going to bed. A heavy late-night meal, for example, forces the digestive system to work intensely while the body is trying to rest. The stomach demands more blood flow, the heart has to pump harder, and blood pressure can rise when it should be calming down. Doctors frequently see this pattern. Someone eats a large dinner late at night, perhaps foods high in salt, sugar, or saturated fat. The body suddenly needs extra circulation to digest that meal. Meanwhile, the heart is already preparing to slow down for sleep. That mismatch creates strain on the cardiovascular system. But food is not the only trigger. Another very common factor is dehydration. Many seniors drink less water in the evening because they want to avoid waking up during the night to use the bathroom. While that seems practical, dehydration can quietly thicken the blood and reduce circulation, increasing the chance of clot formation during sleep. There's also a myth many people still believe. They think that once they lie down and fall asleep, the heart is completely relaxed and protected. Unfortunately, that is not always true. In reality, the heart continues working all night. And if it enters sleep already stressed, the body may struggle to stabilize itself. I have spoken with many patients over the years who were completely shocked when doctors explained this connection. They believed their evening routine was harmless. A heavy dinner, perhaps a little alcohol, maybe watching television late into the night. None of it seemed dangerous in the moment. But the body keeps score. Every small habit sends signals to the heart and blood vessels. Some habits calm the system down and prepare it for deep restorative sleep. Others quietly push the body into a state of stress just when it should be recovering. The important thing to remember is that understanding these hidden triggers gives you power. Once you recognize them, they are surprisingly easy to adjust. And in the next part, we're going to talk about exactly that. The simple nightly habits that cardiologists often recommend to protect the heart, keep circulation healthy, and reduce the chances of dangerous events happening while you sleep. Some of these changes may seem small, but they can dramatically improve how your heart behaves during the most vulnerable hours of the night. Now the good news is that once we understand what places stress on the heart before sleep, protecting it becomes surprisingly simple. In fact, many cardiologists tell their patients that the final hour before bedtime can act like a reset button for the heart. What you do during this time can either calm your cardiovascular system or quietly push it into a dangerous state of stress. One of the first things doctors often recommend is adjusting the timing and size of your evening meal. Large, heavy dinners late at night force the digestive system to work overtime. The stomach demands extra blood flow, the heart has to pump harder, and blood pressure can remain elevated when the body should be winding down. For seniors especially, eating lighter in the evening and finishing meals at least 2 to 3 hours before sleep can allow the heart to relax and stabilize before bedtime. Another simple but powerful habit is proper hydration earlier in the evening. Many people reduce water intake at night because they want uninterrupted sleep. That's understandable, but extreme dehydration can cause the blood to become thicker, making it harder for the heart to pump smoothly. A balanced approach works best. Drink enough water during the day and early evening, so the body stays hydrated without needing large amounts right before bed. Movement also plays a surprisingly important role. The body is designed for circulation through motion. When someone spends hours sitting, watching television, or lying down without movement, blood flow in the legs can slow. Gentle activity in the evening, even a short walk around the house or a few minutes of light stretching, can help circulation stay healthy and reduce pressure on the heart. Another factor many people overlook is stress. Emotional stress does not automatically disappear when the lights go out. If the mind is still racing, the body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These chemicals raise heart rate and blood pressure, making it harder for the heart to enter a calm, steady rhythm during sleep. Simple relaxation habits, such as slow breathing, quiet reading, or calming music before bed, can help signal the nervous system that it is safe to relax. Sleep position can also influence breathing and circulation. For some people, especially those who snore or experience breathing pauses during sleep, lying flat on the back may worsen oxygen levels overnight. Doctors often suggest sleeping slightly elevated or on the side to help maintain better airflow and reduce strain on the heart and brain. There's another important mistake many people make before bed: stimulants late in the evening. Caffeine, nicotine, and even certain sugary snacks can stimulate the nervous system and prevent the heart from settling into its natural nighttime rhythm. The heart prefers a gradual slowdown before sleep, not sudden stimulation. And here's something very powerful to remember. Your heart loves consistency. Going to bed at a similar time each night helps regulate the body's internal clock. When sleep patterns are chaotic, blood pressure rhythms can also become irregular, increasing cardiovascular strain. When you combine these simple habits, lighter evening meals, proper hydration, gentle movement, relaxation, and consistent sleep routines, you create an environment where the heart can truly rest. Instead of fighting against stress signals, the cardiovascular system can settle into a calm, steady rhythm throughout the night. But there's one more important piece of this conversation that we haven't discussed yet. Something that often brings comfort and hope to people who worry about their heart health. because the human body has an incredible ability to recover and protect itself when we give it the right conditions. And in the final part, I want to share an encouraging message about how small daily choices can quietly strengthen the heart and reduce risk, even later in life. I want you to pause for a moment and think about something important. The story we began with was tragic, and unfortunately situations like that do happen. But there is another truth that doctors see every single day, and it is far more hopeful than most people realize. The heart is an incredibly resilient organ. Even after decades of wear and tear, even after years of unhealthy habits, it still has the ability to respond to small positive changes. I have seen people in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s transform their heart health simply by adjusting a few daily routines. Many people believe that once they reach a certain age, the damage is already done and nothing can really change the outcome. But medical science continues to prove the opposite. The body constantly adapts to how we treat it. Every healthy habit you practice sends a signal to your heart and blood vessels that it's time to repair, stabilize, and protect. Think again about the hours before sleep. Those quiet moments in the evening may seem ordinary, but they hold enormous power. A lighter meal, a calm mind, a short walk, a glass of water earlier in the evening, a consistent bedtime. These small choices can help lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and allow the heart to settle into a safe rhythm through the night. And when the heart sleeps peacefully, the brain benefits too. The risk of dangerous clots, strokes, and sudden cardiac stress can be significantly reduced when the body enters sleep in a calm, balanced state. That's why so many cardiologists now emphasize something very simple. Protecting the heart at night is just as important as protecting it during the day. You don't need extreme diets or complicated routines. You don't need to live in fear of every small habit. What matters most is awareness. Once you understand how your body responds to certain behaviors, you gain the ability to make smarter choices that quietly support your health. So tonight, and every night moving forward, remember this simple message. Treat the final hour before sleep as a time to care for your heart. Let your body slow down. Let your mind relax. Give your cardiovascular system the calm environment it needs to keep you safe through the night. If this conversation helped you understand something new about your health, I truly hope you'll continue learning with us. Videos like this are created to share knowledge that can protect lives and help people feel more confident about their health as they age. If you found this information valuable, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Many people reading those comments may learn from your experiences too. And most importantly, take care of your heart tonight, because the small choices you make today may help protect your tomorrow.